Good evening and welcome. Tonight we want to do a discussion challenge, or let me say, we want to do a talking challenge. Tonight I asked my community member to give me topic to talk about, and I have received many topics. I'm going to select maybe two or three that I'm going to talk about, maybe about 10 minutes or 15 minutes. I'm going to talk about the topic given. So, the first topic that we have here is about admission processing, while the second one is about, let's say, self development. So, the first one, this topic is easy and effective way of admission processing. This is a very question, and also it relates to what we do here, and I'm going to explain briefly on this particular topic. I want you to understand admission processing, especially in Nigeria, is a very comprehensive process. It's a very strategic one, but I'm going to briefly explain effective and easy way to admission processing in Nigeria. And the first thing that you need to know when you want to process admission in Nigeria is that you have to have it at the back of your mind that admission in Nigeria institution is very competitive. What do I mean by this statement? When something is competitive is that there is a limited slot or limited space for a very much people. We have many students that want to gain admission, and the available slots for this particular school or courses are limited. So make it very competitive for everyone. And this thing, you have to know that this thing, um, it will help you to strategize very well when you are processing admission. So the discussion will base on some factors and some points. The first one is that let me call it pre um, admission preparation. This particular one is you have to do this before you even start the admission. So because admission processing is based on requirements, having this requirement will help you to navigate the process successfully. And if you lack any of the requirement, it can stop you from succeed or gaining admission into any institution. This pre-admission preparation include um, preparation for all the entrance exam. So, like we all know, before you can register or process admission in Nigeria, there are some certain results or certificate that you must have, which include your O level or your certificate and your JAMB exam. All these are the pre preparation that I'm talking about. The first thing is that another pre preparation that you need to know is that you need to know the course of study that you want to do, this and the institution that you want to study this particular course, and this particular work will help you to prepare very well and to navigate the process easily. And knowing the institution, because the institution and the courses have their requirements, and knowing them before you start the process will help you to know what they want and how they want it, and it will help you to prepare very well. For example, now for a candidate that want to study admission in University of Ibadan, for example, and maybe the person want to study medical courses. So you have to understand that after your UTME, which is you must have minimum of 200 before you can be qualified for any courses in the school. The minimum tolerable score is 200. So after that, you have to prepare for post-UTME exam, which you must have minimum of 50 in your post-UTME. These are just the basic requirement, the minimum requirement. The minimum score tolerable for any candidate applying for this school. You can't compare the requirement of admission in UI to UniOsun, for example. If you are going to applying for UniOsun, for example, the minimum score that you need is 160 when you want to process for regular courses. But other courses like medical course, you have to have at least 200. So the requirement for all these school courses are different. So you have to know the course, the school. We call it course selection and institution selection. During this particular, you're able to um, to evaluate the chance of you gaining admission with your score and your resource that you have. So this particular one will help you to prepare yourself very well. And the another thing that you need to know after uh, the entrance exam, which include JAM and post-UTME for those for the school that they are doing post-UTME. Some school they do screening. So those are the things that you need to know is that. Another thing that you need to understand in admission is that you must focus on aggregate score rather than the required score. What I mean by that, what I mean by this is that, for example, now if the school announce maybe during the announcement of their form that the minimum score that we accept is 180, I don't want you to focus on that particular 180 because it's a trap. You will think at the minimum score is 180 now, I can gain admission. You cannot gain admission with the minimum score. Minimum score just means the minimum score that you must have for you to, it's just like the eligibility of you qualify to participate in the admission of that school. So having that is not enough for you to qualify to study a particular course in that school. So you have to understand that. And when you are processing admission, you must go for the course that it is very sure that you are going to gain admission into. For example, now people want to study maybe nursing or medicine and surgery, for example, and you have 200. For example, you have 200 in JAM, and this is one of the trap that admission seekers usually fall into. They will say, since the school said the minimum score is 200, I can go for medicine now. You cannot go for medicine. The population of students that is applying or seeking admission into medicine make it the most competitive course in all the institutions in Nigeria. So if you are having that kind of mentality, it is very wrong. So one of the easier way is for you to understand the requirement. After you understand the requirement of the school, this will help you to prepare, to evaluate your chances. We call it the possibility of you gaining admission. So after evaluate that, then you now make decision. Because decision that you make during the registration will determine your success. Maybe you are going to get the admission or not, and you have to evaluate and consider all the possible way of admission consideration, which is your age requirement, O level subject combination, JAM subject combination, and other things that the school usually use to consider admission for their candidates. After you do all this, and with all this preparation, having the requirements, meeting up with the, and for the school that they are usually using aggregate score, which is cutoff mark. The cutoff mark is what you need to focus. Don't focus on the requirements. Focus on the customer and make sure that you beat their previous one. For example, now if the medicine and surgery for University of Ibadan for the last year is maybe 79, if you are planning to apply for medicine and surgery in the following year, make sure that you have at least 3 points ahead of the previous one. This will help you to stand out among the others because they are going to be selecting the top students, uh, based on the performance of the student in that particular year. So when you want to apply, you have to understand that, and these are the things that you need to look into. um Let me recap what I'm trying to say. The first thing that you need to do is to know the school that you are applying for. You want to go for maybe state, what how are they consider student for admission? Some school, they usually consider merit and transfer. What I mean merit and transfer is that you can only gain admission into that school with merit, because we have four way the school usually used to consider student for admission. The first one is through merit. The second one is through catchment area. The third one is through educational load development area. So the fourth one is through transfer admission. You have to understand the one that the school that you want to apply for usually adopted. So this will help you to know which one will be okay for you. For example, for school that usually consider all these four way, you have to firstly think, can I meet up with the merit? If not, then am I on their my state of origin, is my state of origin among the catchment area? If yes, you can use that opportunity as well. Is my state of origin among the low educational development state? If that is correct, you can follow that far away as well. So this will help you to be among the selected candidates, because admission, there is something we call quota in admission, which means the number of students that each school or each courses must admitted per year. So this institution cannot go beyond this number. So you are the one that you need to strategize your processing, so you can be among the selected one. So I will do another video which I'm going to explain in details all the step by step of admission processing, starting from preparation, the requirement, O-level requirement, and every other thing that's related to admission consideration. This is just a brief explanation based on um, the challenge that we are doing tonight. So if you find this particular challenge interesting, you can give us a like and share this video to other people who might need to see this. And also don't forget to follow, share and subscribe to this channel for more educating content like this. Thank you. Goodbye.